watching Numbskull News, and today I'm talking about the best quarterbacks in the NFL after the 2021 season, the top 10. And the playoffs are still going on in the divisional round. It's the weekend of the divisional round. But I think we know enough to do a top 10, so that's what I'm going to do, so let's go. At number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on. He's got the best numbers. Green Bay has a number 1 seed in the NFC. I think the best overall record in the NFL. He's going to be a back-to-back 2-time MVP. If not, then these voters don't know what the hell they're doing. He's the best quarterback in the league, period. At number 2, the GOAT strikes again, Tom Brady. He's got the Bucs with the number 2 overall seed in the NFC. Overall, the Bucs are down a little bit. They're not as good as they were last year, but it's good enough to be where they are, which is in the divisional round with a chance to get back to the NFC Championship game. And I have a feeling he's going to do just that. At number 3 is Patrick Mahomes. And look, I know it's supposed to be a down year for the Chiefs. They had a slow start, but came on real strong at the end of the season. They did get a lot of wins that were a lot closer than I guess they would usually be because his numbers are kind of down a little bit. But the guy's still an elite quarterback. He's still one of the best in the game. And he still is able to elevate his team. And that's a key word I'm going to use for several quarterbacks on this list. Elevate their team. He does that. Josh Allen. Yes, he is now an elite quarterback. There's no getting around it. He puts up monster numbers, has huge wins. The only reason I have him number 4 this year is, for whatever reason, there's some inexplicable losses the Bills had. Not many, but there's a few. Like, I think they scored like 3 points against Jacksonville. I was like, what the hell is that? It's just a weird year. I'm not going to kill Josh Allen's whole season over that, but I think he's an elite quarterback, number 4 overall. In the 5th spot, there's really 3 quarterbacks to me that could have been here: Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow. But I'm going to go with Justin Herbert, even though I hate picking or siding with the national media. He's like a media darling, but they're not wrong. He's got elite talent, and he elevates his team. All right. He almost says San Diego. The damn Chargers, who should not be in LA. They should be in San Antonio. Another video. But they're not a great team. All right. They got a good defense, pretty good offensive line, decent run game. He's got really good weapons to throw to, however. But it's kind of a mediocre team. But he elevates them into a playoff team. Man, AFC going forward is going to be nuts with Mahomes and Allen, Herbert, Burrow. It's insane the kind of talent the AFC is going to have. There are going to be some hellacious teams because there's some hellacious quarterbacks. Herbert, for me, gets the 5 spot. And mainly because he gets the 5 spot because he's done it a little bit longer and has sustained this level of excellence for one more year than Murray or Burrow has. At 6, I have Kyler Murray. The reason I have him at 6 and above a lot of other people is he was the league MVP this year until he got hurt. He was going to be that. And there are some other key injuries that went on, like they lost Nuke. And if not for that, if not for losing his top wide receiver and his own injuries, I mean, they were really in a good spot to challenge Green Bay for the number 1 overall seed. And they went on a losing streak. But like I said, injuries played a big role in that. They're still able to, freaking beat the Cowboys. But this little guy he's got a lot. He's got a lot in that little package. And he's going to be vying for elite status, I think, for the remainder of his career. He's that good. And at number 7, and this will probably be the lowest he'll ever be on anyone's list going forward, more than likely, is Joe Burrow. This guy's for real. I mean, for real, for real. He just got into the AFC today. His team, the Bengals, just beat the number 1 seed Titans, which I didn't think was going to happen at all. But he gets his team into the AFC Championship game, which is nuts because it's about a year or 2 early for them to even be thinking about it. But because Burrow is a badass, they got there. And he's doing it with a rookie wide receiver. And I know him and Chase, they have this college connection and all that, but this is the pros. And Chase is already looking like a monster. So this thing is going to be hard as hell to deal with for a long time. Joe Burrow is the real deal. The Bengals are going to be a handful in that division for a good long time. At number 8, I still have Russell Wilson in my top 10. Let everybody else kick him out. I remember this guy. After the Legion of Boom was done and over with and gone, he's the one that's getting his team into the playoffs. He's the one that's overcoming a bad defense and a bad offensive line. Even if they're not in the playoffs, they're right on the verge of getting to the playoffs. And he kind of started settling in towards the end of the year. Last couple of games, he started looking like Russell Wilson of old. It's just been an injury-riddled season for the man. But this guy, I mean, truly, he's got elite written all over him. He just needs some help. That's the bottom line with Russell Wilson. If he's healthy and he's got an offensive line, he's got a defense, he can get you to a Super Bowl. He's proved it over and over again. Well, he's proved it twice. And even if you don't have those things, he can still get you into the playoffs. But when you add personal injuries on top of that, it's kind of hard. I don't blame him for this year at all. Still in my top 10. And I predict next year he's going to bounce back and possibly be further up than number 8. At number 9 is Dak Prescott. My favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, their quarterback. And unfortunately, the most overpaid guy in the league. However, I will say this year, for everyone who thinks that's too low for Dak Prescott, before this year, I said he was a borderline top 10 quarterback. Only you would put him in the top 10 because of default, right? Because Matt Ryan was hurt or Andrew Luck retired. That's why he sneaked into the top 10, in years previous for me. But this year, he proved he belongs inside the top 10. So 9 is about as far as I can get him. All right. And I predict he'll probably never advance further than that. And for all those that think that's too high for Dak, look, Dak can play. He can play well. All right. But if you don't have an elite offensive line and a solid defense, talking top 5 defense, then he can't elevate the team past. He can't elevate the team into a playoff team if he doesn't have playoff capable weapons around him. That's what he's got to have. He's got to have that offensive line. Got to have that run game. Everyone before that, Wilson, Burrow, Murray, Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, they can overcome a lot and still drag their team into the playoffs. Dak can't do that. And another guy who can't do that, at number 10, Matthew Stafford. Now, I know the Rams are still alive in the playoffs and the Cowboys aren't. But let's don't get it twisted. Dak's a better overall quarterback than Matthew Stafford. That's what I think. They have different skill sets. There's different things. I actually think Matthew Stafford probably has a better arm than Dak, but I think Dak has better legs than Stafford. They're about the same as far as reading defenses and stuff like that. But Stafford, he throws a lot of interceptions, a lot of turnovers, and they're kind of inexplicable at times. Like he's just going nuts. Whereas Dak generally protects the ball. All right. There's some untimely interceptions, of course, and turnovers, but with Stafford, it gets to a ridiculous level. But however, when he's on, he is on. So that's why he's a top 10 guy. And he's got all the talent around him. And like Dak, if he doesn't have talent, he can't drag a team to the playoffs. Ask the people in Detroit. Can't do it. Even with Megatron. However, they did make the playoffs once or twice with Megatron. Not trying to kill him, but he can't overcome a lot of deficiencies. Neither can Dak. But I'm going to mention a little honorable mention to Lamar Jackson, even though he doesn't make my top 10 this year. But really, Jackson, Stafford, and Prescott, they're all kind of the same, even though they're very different quarterbacks with different skill sets, different strengths and weaknesses. They're all three kind of the same, where they do not elevate their team. If they have a great run game around them, they can add to it. If you have a great offensive line and a good defense, they can really add to. They won't take away from that. All right. If you have a really good team around them, they can help that team get you to where you want to go. But if there's a deficiency, they can't really overcome it. That's the thing with these three guys. And the reason I have Lamar Jackson outside of the top 10 is because he and the Ravens, they were way worse this year than Stafford and the Rams or Prescott and the Cowboys. All right, next year, if the Cowboys or the Rams fall off and the Ravens have a bounce back year and they're in the playoffs, then for me, Lamar Jackson would be a big part of that and will be back inside the top 10. Well, that's it, folks. That's all I got. 2021 quarterbacks top 10 list. I'll be back with some other crap some other time. Thanks for watching. Bye.